All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about why creating content online is just a brilliant move, even when it really feels like you're talking to an empty room. Because trust me, it's a journey that is about so much more than the view count. Okay, let's start with a feeling every single new creator knows all too well. You pour your heart and soul into making something, you hit that publish button with all this hope, and then crickets. The views are just painfully low. You know the drill, right? You spend hours and hours editing, recording, getting everything just perfect, only to be left staring at a number like this one. It's the kind of number that makes you question everything, wondering if you're just shouting into the void. And look, this feeling is totally universal. Just take it from Mattia Chidano, whose story we're following here. When he first started out on Instagram, he was putting in all this effort for pretty much zero interaction. He's been there. I mean, he even had friends who thought it was embarrassing, telling him he was trying too hard to be an influencer. But his passion for it was just stronger than their judgment, so he kept at it. And this gets to a really crucial point. We often build these fortresses of excuses around ourselves. But they're not really about the logistics, are they? They're about protecting ourselves from that potential judgment, from that fear of failing. These are the big ones, right? The heavy questions we ask ourselves to justify not even starting. They feel like real roadblocks, but are they? Are they actually true? Yeah. We all have our go-to list. It looks a little something like this, doesn't it? It's familiar, it's comfortable, but at the end of the day, these are just stories we tell ourselves to stay exactly where we are. Because here's the reality. They are just limiting beliefs. The fact that you see every type of person imaginable out there making content, well, that shouldn't be your roadblock. That should be your proof. It's proof that there's a place for you too.
So, if those excuses aren't real, what should we be focusing on? Well, let's talk about the audience, because we need to completely, and I mean completely, reframe what a small number of viewers actually means.
Remember this number? Yeah, that one, the one that felt so defeating. Instead of just seeing it as a tiny metric on a screen, let's try a little thought experiment together. Now, picture this. Imagine all 100 of those viewers are in a room with you. They're all there and they're all listening to what you have to say. Suddenly, that number doesn't feel so small anymore, does it? That's a room full of people giving you their attention.
Mattia tells this story about getting a message from a viewer who said his content inspired them to make a huge change in their life. And he says, just one message like that, man, it completely erases all the struggle and all the negativity. That's real impact. And that, right there, is the hidden potential. It only takes one person, just one person out of 1,000 viewers, that's less than 1%, to see your work, love what you do, and reach out with a job offer or become a client. That one connection can change everything. And this brings us to something that is just so important to understand. Creating content isn't just about what happens today. It's an investment. You're building skills and assets that are going to pay off for years to come. Think about it. Every single video you make, you get a little bit better at communicating. Your confidence starts to grow, and not just on camera, but in job interviews, in meetings. You're learning real technical skills in editing and production. And on top of all that, you're building a priceless digital diary of your own life. No, seriously, think about that for a second. Imagine in 10 years, being able to go back and watch your own journey. Mattia talks about his motorcycle trip through Vietnam, an incredible adventure he can now revisit whenever he wants, just because he decided to hit record. It's like building your own personal time machine. Okay, so we've reframed that fear of low views, we've talked about all these amazing long-term benefits, but there's still that one final hurdle we all have to face, right? The simple act of actually starting. Let's go back to Mattia's journey. For a whole year, an entire year, he was publishing content and getting basically zero results. But he didn't stop. And that persistence paid off. What started as a passion project is now his full-time career. You've probably heard this saying before, but it is just perfect here. It's so easy to get trapped in that "I should have started years ago" mindset. But the opportunity wasn't just in the past. It's right here. It's right now. So it's time to flip the script on that one last nagging doubt. That little voice in the back of your head that holds so many of us back from even trying in the first place. Instead of that question, ask yourself a different one. What if you helped someone? What if you built a community? What if one of your videos took off? What if it really, truly worked?